everybody, welcome to GT Live. I'm Brandon Jones. I'm joined by Mr. Brad Ellis, who's on the laptop. You cozy? We've swapped chairs, actually. I got some very important advice from Mr. Ian Hinck, who's on the TriCaster. What's up, Ian? You and Kyle Bossman suggested that I sit in this chair, the more commanding chair, the host position. And here with me to try out my new chair is from Mode Select. Where are you? You an animation house? Are you a motion graphics house? What's the official term of your company?
I think storytelling is like the gag right now in the industry. Like,
okay, you're a storytelling studio.
People don't want to focus on like we're just animation. Like people do VR now. People do
Children's books.
Exactly.
Mr. Marco Rosado, Mr. Dan Rackison, former Game Trailers employees, were with us. Moved on to greener pastures when we made the transition over to Defy Media. So you were only in the Viacom days of GT, but you guys have gone on to create your own company called Mode Select, which does, as you mentioned, all sorts of fascinating stuff that we'll get to in just a second. We are also playing Earth Defense Force 4.1. Mr. Ben Moore is very enthusiastically, although he's alone on the couch. Is very enthusiastically playing Earth Defense Force 4.1, which is like a day old or something. Didn't this come out like today or yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. Yep.
And you're feeling this game, right? Right, Ben? Like you love this franchise.
Sometimes you just need those things where you're like, I don't want to think and I want to kill a lot of stuff very quickly. That's this for me.
EDF appeared on a countdown we did recently. What did EDF appear on?
Top 10 sevens.
Top 10 sevens was one of the EDFs that we had given. That Ben fought for. Unfortunately, we are not going to have codes to give away this week, but these guys are very interesting, as I will prove over the next 40 minutes. And you should definitely throw some questions their way about animation, about I can at least speak for Marco. I know Dan, I saw you played some Minecraft, B and the D, but I know Marco plays a bunch of games, role playing and world building and whatnot. So there's all sorts of crazy questions you can float at Marco, but. And Brad Ellis is in chat as Game Trailers.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you have a question, you can throw them to Mr. Brad Ellis, and in the last 20 minutes of the show, we will direct them at Mode Select, a.k.a. Marco and Dan. You had a crazy year, man. So, what have you been up to since we moved over to Defy Media, and you have been on your own out in the wilds of the industry?
Well, after Defy, I worked freelance for Disney for a while. Thanks to Chris Newen, remember him? And after that, during that time, me and Dan set up our animation studio, and we were doing small projects here and there, and then the projects started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, until they got so big that I kind of moved the freelancing away from Disney, and kind of we set up our office, and yeah, it's been pretty good ever since then. We were doing character animation, game trailers. We're doing packages for different games. If you played The Phantom Pain, if you bought the collector's edition, we worked on the Blu-ray for that game. The documentary that.
Which some of that was shot, on the game trailer stage. So small world, man.
Yes, Keeley produced it.
A year later, we're winding up on official game DVDs, man.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Well, Jeff Keeley,
grows up. Yeah, exactly. Once Keeley's a factor, then you never know.
Yep.
And you worked on some stuff at the Game Awards, which is when last time. So you were involved somehow in the Game Awards, weren't you?
No. I just showed up because Keeley invited me.
You just bummed a ticket to the Game Awards?
Yeah. Ryan worked on the Game Awards.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, we had and John Stobaugh, who was a former editor at GT. So to fill people in, if they are not familiar with you, Marco, because you were on Game Trailers of Thrones, you were on Invisible Walls a couple times. You have stepped in front of the camera for some of the things, maybe some not funny GT episodes. But what people really should know you from is you did the effects, and you, Dan, as well. You did the effects for the Legend of Zelda and the Kingdom Hearts timelines, even though Ian Hinck cut Kingdom Hearts. You cut Legend of Zelda timeline.
And co-wrote it.
And
Damiani was insane at the.
Right.
I mean, he's still insane, but we kind of had to translate his jargon into something.
And you worked on the Warcraft retrospective.
Oh wow, yeah.
And did you work on Diablo as well, or was that?
Ben, yeah, we worked on Diablo for about a month.
Yeah, Marco's a lifesaver for the Diablo retro, absolutely.
So yeah, if there were a lot of things, if you noticed somewhere around the time when we left Defy, you're like, yeah, where did your video suddenly didn't have these amazing graphics anymore? What happened? These guys went on and started their own company. That's what happened. But so yeah, if you guys are unfamiliar with stuff that they worked on with Game Trailers, which leads me to my first question: what was your favorite thing that you did when you were at GT? It can be an ongoing show. It can be just like a standalone project.
Wow. Okay. really like the times we were working in Warcraft because I think I fondly remember that because we just started. Like, I just started working on Game Trailers at that time, I think. That was my first year. And Patrick Morales was working with me because, he's awesome. And obviously you and, we kind of, like, reimagined Retrospectus a little bit with that series. And yeah, I think I fondly remember that. And obviously Timeline, working with Mike Damiani. Was fun.
Have we rolled their B-roll yet from their reel, Ian? There's one clip I want you to try to find that we never actually used. That when you told me about Mode Select and you had launched your website, you guys can check it out at modeselect.net. And I was like, oh, this is great. I want to watch this reel. It's with the back of Damiani's head. It's the Pop Fiction intro that you never actually made. So you'll see like Damiani sitting in the living room. It's like the back of his head, and they like recreated his apartment. And like Damiani didn't like it, or like we ended up not using it.
We negotiated with Mike for that. Like he didn't want that shot. And
There it is. Oh yeah, go back.
Yeah.
He's beating mother brain.
So good.
So he was against that shot because it was a Slurpee cup.
Give a freeze frame there, so we just really analyze
There's
this.
a Slurpee cup on the.
He says he doesn't have a room that messy, and that Slurpee cup. He doesn't go to. What?
I lived with that guy for a year. He had a room that messy. That's bullshit.
Okay, so we didn't undersell it. Okay.
He's got the hat on.
Yeah, he has the hat of power, Texas Longhorns.
But I mean, I think out of almost everyone that's come and gone through the doors of Game Trailers over the years, I think Damiani was the most. Was the most like YouTube-ish of a person. Probably Elise Willems, like really has like a great mind for the what you should do on YouTube to be successful. But you just imagine a YouTuber having a room like that. It's like that's the other side of the camera is that the Slurpee cup and the it's like where James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, just has shelves into infinity of just like tons and tons of games.
Well, Ben has lived there with him. He's seen the Lair of the Beast.
Yeah.
And he has like the most insane Zelda memorabilia collection known to man.
So in his closet, there were no clothes or anything. It was just on the shelves and on the ground, just Zelda memorabilia. Like the entire closet was devoted to that. It was actually pretty awesome. Really rare, like super valuable stuff there. Mm-hmm. Every copy of every game, every Japanese copy of all the Zelda games, it's nuts.
One of my favorite interactions with Damiani this year is I was at Comic-Con, and they gave away 2 different Carbuncle stuffed animals, a blue one and a yellow one. And he sent out a distress signal to the world, to all of social media, like, anybody get me these. And I was like, it was funny, they weren't that hard to get, but he was very grateful that I went and picked those up for him. And of course, I have another friend who's like a summoner in Final Fantasy XIV. And he was like, oh, I see how it is. Like, don't get me Carbuncle, even though I'm a summoner.
He's really big into that game, or at least was for past year, I think.
He did lots of streaming of Final Fantasy XIV for us.
Yeah.
So we can reminisce on happy memories of GameTrailers.com all day, but we don't want to get into too many inside jokes and backstories of people at home. We're just like, okay, moving on. What's your favorite like project client? Like, doesn't even necessarily have to be any job in particular, but like, what do you think is your favorite thing since you started Mode Select that you've worked on?
I think would agree, like, working on character animation. I mean, we've dabbled in character animation, like as you saw with Mike Damiani, and the GT graphics, the review graphics with the pinball machine, and the ninjas fighting. I don't think we still use that, the gameplay bumper.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, you remember it said design, gameplay, presentation, all those had bumpers, and we worked with a lot of animation and that stuff. And right now we're doing more advanced animation, and it's really rewarding building the pipelines and systems that make that happen with like dynamic hair and fur and liquids and I mean, Dan could speak a lot better about that because he's the magician here.
Yeah, and no, definitely like getting to do animation and direct like full scenes with dialogues. We had we recorded the lines and then we bring them in and we've storyboarded everything out and then we have the animators come in. Like that whole process, doing that is the best like part of what we're doing now. Also, like doing VR, so we're doing stuff with the Oculus and trying to create a VR experience and trying different techniques. So we had one approach where we actually build an entire environment, put it in either Unity or UDK4, and then we also decided, well, we could pre-render everything and have it projection spheres, so not even using the models, and just render everything like we usually do with our graphics. So that's like figuring out new problems to different, or new solutions to different problems.
Still play Minecraft?
Not really. Kerbal Space Program. And I think
Still playing Kerbal, okay.
Still, I think from before I left GT, I was still playing.
Because I know there was like a server, and then that server died, and then another server popped up, and then you weren't using that one, and then another server popped up. Oh.
Rebooting our artist server.
Those spots exist still.
I'm in. I got bit by Minecraft
yeah?
a couple months ago, and I've been going back in dabbling.
Wow.
In the free time I don't have.
Yeah.
But it's I mean that's Minecraft to me. It's like I'll just take 8 to 12 to 15 months off from it, and then just like it's like riding a bike. You just get back in.
Yeah, that server had like wars and incredible disputes and crazy monuments.
And I'm speaking of a server that Marco played at work, just to kind of put that into context.
Oh yeah,
there were like just stroll in and be like,
many
hey,
hours.
What's going on? And like the two of them were just like,
Viacom was very
just building an airship. What else?
Of course, yeah.
What else are you playing? Did you play Warlords Draenor at all?
I played Warlords to level
Legion?
100. Was it 90?
100.
Yeah, and it was great. I think I lapsed WoW already. I kind of like play just to see it, but I don't know. Ben is agreeing with me. I mean, it's kind of like something that I can't. I think the mechanics feel old. I don't know what do you think about that?
Oh, sure. Well, that's why
Yeah,
it's not a priority for me. Like I
Exactly.
play a bunch of Hearthstone. I'd probably check out Heroes of the Storm if I had the time. But and I'm definitely gonna play
Overwatch.
Overwatch. But gonna wrap up StarCraft 2 because I played the first 2 chapters of that. So.
Oh, okay.
But again, it's just been like such a crazy year. What's your game of the year? What do you think was hot this year? It was a really good year. We're wrapping it up. We only got about 2.5 weeks left.
Bloodborne, I think.
Hey,
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
I mean,
oh no, wait! I'm like looking around the room, like, oh no!
I think, yeah. I mean, it's a good evolution to that formula. I think.
Which I like now. I'm in.
I think I was kind of burnt with Souls 2, and Bloodborne redeemed that. So, and I loved no shield. Just went through the game without a shield, just dodging and parrying with your gun. That shit's awesome.
You make time for games at all, Dan?
Mario Maker. I got a Wii U.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a runaway hit, man. It was nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards. That was a huge deal.
I like how they give you deliveries.
Yeah.
Here's some new stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, yes. You get everything, and then just building levels for hours. That's fun.
I was actually saying when we were talking about GOTY deliberations, and that game popped up in all sorts of different categories, and I thought it's actually one of the only Amiibo games that attracts me at all to the Amiibo,
yeah.
and it's actually one of the only Amiibo games on the Wii U where you can access Amiibo content without owning the Amiibo.
Right.
Because when you put Sonic on there, then you can now play as Sonic, and you can put in a power up. And so if I play a level that someone else made and they drop that power up in there, then I get to play Sonic. So
I
it's
think
kind of cool.
The crazy thing with Mario Maker has been kind of bringing to the forefront. I mean, there were always these mods that people would hack Mario World and do crazy levels, and now that's canon in a way that's okay, now Nintendo has facilitated that, and now there's an official way to do that, and it's all over the blogs, and I've seen some crazy playthroughs of some of those levels. That's yeah.
But as guys that are that literally get into the code, get into the polygons, and rip stuff apart and see what it's made of, you probably appreciate that's how you make that hard of a jump. If you're trying to make Mario jump onto a little tiny spot and then onto something else,
it made me
measuring that distance and getting that perfect.
I went right into Unity on my computer the next day and was starting to make my own Mario game. Because it's so simple, but it's very complex. It's like Mario, the controls for Mario are the tightest controls. But it plays so simple, and that's I don't know. As a coder, I geek out on that stuff. So.
I think that game has proved. I mean, if I just might say, I've always thought Mario World is the best implementation of 2D Mario. Some people like Ryan Stevens would argue Mario 3, and Kyle would say Mario 3.
Sure.
But I think Mario World is the tightest Mario's ever felt. And if you see online the levels that people make, the crazier ones, the ones that require the most crazy amount of control precision, are Mario World based on Mario Maker. So I think that speaks for itself. I'm right.
But I also like that you can switch between the games. So you can make one level this way, and then you can kind of change that in the game maker, and so you can play the same all the versions of Mario, in the same level, sort of. So you can have we just switch the background, the template, and so it kind of like that shows like how simple the game is.
Yeah.
Even throughout all the iterations, the controls are pretty much the same. I think maybe they applied back like to the original Mario. They just took the one set of controls and put it back. I don't think they're different in the game.
I'm a sucker for that stuff stylistically. You know, like Halo 2 when they remastered that in Master Chief Collection, and you could click back and forth between the Xbox and the Xbox One version, and you know, the two Monkey Island games where you could do that, see like the new cartoon, and then go back to the old pixelated version.
I didn't even
You just
see
hit a
that.
button, and literally we'll go back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
Just kind of seeing like what it used to look like back in the day, and the how far we've come. Speaking of how far we've come in video games, Earth Defense Force, Ben.
Yeah, it's looking bad right now. I'm stuck in this web.
It's looking bad for your performance, but the game's not looking bad, right?
No,
It holds up, right?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. This is the first EDF that we've gotten on PS4, and it still has frame rate problems. You're like, oh man, I thought that stuff would go away, but it hasn't, and yeah.
So not only just the PS4, but just next gen. This is the in this generation we are in currently. This is the first EDF game.
Yes, correct.
What advancements can you speak of that exist or were attempted?
So this right now
version?
is the first time that I've played this version of EDF, and I haven't seen anything new yet.
Wonderful.
Not a single thing. So
What does the 4.1 mean? You think? Why 4.1?
So they
Why
have
not
different-
just 4.0 or
yeah, like
5
classic Japanese, localization stuff. They have different naming conventions in Japan than they do in the West, and so I think they're trying to switch over to that convention.
so this is the
4.
Final Fantasy VII of
Right,
the EDF
yeah.
universe. This is where we're right back on the same course. We're now. This
Right.
is the most worldly of the EDF games.
I don't know if you can call EDF worldly. I don't know if that.
I mean, can
That
anybody pick up
applies.
this game? Can
Oh, absolutely.
Can a 3-year-old pick this up? And
Yes.
I mean, maybe not be competent, but
Wouldn't they?
you know,
Wouldn't a
they might get
3-year-old be
caught in a web a little
terrified of this,
quicker,
though?
Is this series kind of like,
What just happened?
like Dynasty Warriors every new generation? With Dynasty Warriors, like, the main perk is like there's more people on screen. Is there more ants now?
Yeah, I mean they definitely increased that for sure, but they also the first EDF that we got, 2017, you could only play as the basic ranger, and here like you get the wing diver and the fencer and the air raid guy, and so I feel like you can. That was like a pretty huge change, and like these spiders were new in 2025, and.
multiple people in chat right now, Ben,
Yeah.
are saying you looking real good.
Oh wow!
They are into it.
They like the jacket.
All right.
They like the haircut.
Yep.
Okay.
They like the whole thing. You're looking good, Ben.
Yeah.
I would say Ben looks better than EDF. I mean, clearly, right? I mean,
Of
if
course,
we're
yeah.
if we're talking about human beings versus open world B movie sci-fi shooters,
It's funny
like
because
Ben's got
that's
the edge right now.
that's probably like a super insult because EDF is like such a low budget, ugly game, and you're like, yeah, you look better than this pile of hot garbage. Nice job. I'm just joking, but yeah.
Ian, do you think you look better than EDF? What game do you
Ben?
think you're on par with as far as your looks?
Me?
Yeah. What game
Oh,
best
man.
describes the suaveness of an Ian Hinck?
Suave, is that what I am?
Ian Hinck is Talos Principal, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll-
like if
I'll
he were a
take
game,
that.
that's what he would be.
I'll take that.
I think that's a compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sophisticated kind of, like rugby derby, roller derby T-shirt kind of game.
There's more than meets the eye, You gotta you really have to like find terminals and read them in order to get Ian Hinck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's
You
kind of.
gotta read.
That's how I
I'm
feel like
very
whenever I talk to you.
mysterious.
It's what I feel like. I'm just kind of like
Oh,
going through
yeah.
somebody's email messages. Like, there's got to be the truth has to be in here somewhere,
Ian
Yeah.
Hinck, it's for smart people.
right?
So that's how I view it.
Yeah, like 8 out of 10 people think I'm really boring.
But those 2 out of 10
Yeah.
going
How many people
bananas.
how many people are in this room? I got 1, 2, 3. All Bloodworth fans.
That's right.
So how often do you need an EDF, Ben? Like, is it like once a year? Does that work? Or
No. I think once every other year
Okay.
is enough for me.
But you think this is the kind of game that even if they don't change a lot, like you won't hold it against them. This is a game that you'll go back and revisit.
I mean, it's hard to say because we had 2017, and then we had Insect Armageddon, which was terrible because it was made by different people. And then we had this. So in my mind, there really have only been 2 of these, and 2025 was a pretty significant step up from 2017. But I don't know, the next one we get, if I'm going to be like, oh man, this just doesn't have the same magic anymore. And I'm actually kind of really worried about that.
Marco, what's an example of like a B movie game? Like, I wouldn't call like Katamari Damacy like a B movie game, but like it is for a specific crowd. Like Katamari Damacy is a game that like if they released another version, you wouldn't be shocked if it like had no changes at all. You're just like, oh yeah, it's another Katamari Damacy. But just a guilty pleasure that you have that you're like, yeah, they made another one. Sure, I'll play it.
I mean, those used to be like the movie tie-in games.
Right.
The guilty for like the Iron Man, and I mean those were horrible, the Iron Man games. But
I think Iron Man 2 was like really the last one. That was the last like attempt at a $60 one franchise by itself. So not like Avengers, like Lego Avengers, where they're bringing in all these movies, but just like one movie, one-to-one thing.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, as of recently, I don't know but I would compare those old movie tie-in games to B-movie, like like just the filler type of content. I don't know.
Kyle Bossman now has Dumb Game Mondays. Have you ever seen this on Twitch?
No.
So every Monday he'll stream what he thinks is a dumb game. He's been playing G-Force, the guinea pig, spy movie game adaptation.
Yeah.
It's not horrible.
It's not bad.
That's
Could
old,
be a
right?
lot worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
He just goes into the library and finds something that is.
Well, Kyle always does that. Like, didn't he have that back in the every month he had a Bossman episode where he just like didn't wear his suit and just went to the library, and Bloodworth would
the
kinda,
first
like,
15,
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 15.
Every
yeah.
now and then, yeah, he would chicken out of making a full episode.
Yeah.
He would do that.
Those
So
are
yeah.
some of the best episodes, I think.
Well, you should check. Yeah, you should check out his stream. But I was surprised when I came in. I'm like, there's actually a lot of different weapons and functionality in this guinea pig game.
Well,
It had the
think-
original voice actors. So like,
I mean, having seen like partially the other side of like how game development can be, like sometimes like you just play those Iron Man movie tie-in games or the guinea pig game like G-Force. It's like a lot of people worked on that game.
Yeah,
And
oh,
a lot
yeah.
of people stayed late
someone.
night.
No, it
working
was a
on that.
famous developer actually that did something else. I can't remember. Not famous, but I mean, like you would know the other franchises they had worked on. I don't remember. I think it was one of their last ones. Are you waiting and laughing at something? What? Yeah, like I hear
That
Ian
Bandcamp-
giggling, and it's
that
like,
Bandcamp, dude.
what could it be? Could it be?
What's going on?
Nothing. You're
right
doing
now?
just fine, man.
Nothing's happening.
Oh,
Nothing.
no.
Everything's fine.
What? I have
So
no
what?
control over
What
this.
propelled you to do this, Ian? What are you? Are you tired? Are we? Is it? Is it the last like traditional GT Live of the year? So you're just like,
Well, yeah, I am gonna be gone the rest of the year,
okay.
but also he's just so handsome.
Dude, no, Ben.
You get an extreme close up right now, Ben. We're very very
yeah.
tight.
Ben, remember when you were an intern and
Yeah.
you didn't cut your hair? Like it was just
Yeah,
like the.
we tell him all the
helmet.
time.
Oh,
Short
yeah.
side.
Yeah.
I remember.
That look, that's how I remember Ben. Like
Ben
that's
Fro.
when he was
Handsome
born
Ben.
for me in my
I mean, that was
you know?
pretty much
This is
true.
handsome Ben.
Yep. I feel really uncomfortable right now. I don't know how to handle this.
You look good again.
You look very
I thi-
comfortable.
Ben, there are 2 things on screen right now:
Mm-hmm.
Earth Defense Force 4.1 and Ben Moore. And I'll tell you, you know which one I'd rather look at.
Again, I
And
just
it's
don't
not
know how to
Earth
take
Defense
that, man.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Ian, anything before we talk about our countdown for this week? Anything you wanna let chat know? Anything you wanna tell our guests or myself?
I got. Yeah, everything's great.
Congratulations
Man,
on a
coming
full full year of GT Live. This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
next traditional episode of GT Live will be in 2016. We didn't even do a full year of this show. I think we started in March. So,
We're the
There was.
best.
what? I'm sorry?
I said we're the best.
Oh, well, yeah.
We're the best.
Now you're black and white. Okay, Ian, just pull it back just a little bit.
Aw.
I'll see how much power I can actually enact over the show. Okay, there we go.
How's that?
Yeah, even better.
Is that
Thank
good?
you.
The frame
Let's,
him
bring-
next to
let's
Iron
get that
Man.
hair in there. That nice new hair.
We are going to we're going to talk about our countdown for a little bit. So we do a little segment we call Number 11, where we talk about the thing. Actually, we got Mr. Ben Moore here today, who's here to talk about the Number 11, the segment that did not, the entry that did not crack the top 10, but instead got as high as number 11, and that was about it. I actually got to give a shout out to Mr. Mike Huber, who came up with our countdown idea for this week, which was the top 10 characters of 2015. And these are new characters. So these are characters introduced that we had never either interacted with or played as before in video games. And before I get to the one that we picked, I'm just curious if anything stands out for you. New character. released in a video game in 2015, whether it be a new franchise, a new game, or a sequel, or something of that ilk. D-Dog was an example. D-Dog is not our number 11, but D-Dog's a good example of something that didn't make the list. That functionality-wise is a very cool character, but I mean, D-Dog's a dog. You know, it's not very deep. You know, there's no D-Dog missions you go on to get further into D-Dog's mythos. You know, and like you don't like meet D-Dog's parents and find out like where D-Dog grew up. Anything spring to mind?
I'm thinking.
You said how much you like character design, Marco. Were you influenced by anyone this year?
I loved pretty much every character in the church in Bloodborne. I mean, going back to Bloodborne, but especially the witch in the, melted witch in the ground. That's like, a lot of people I think killed her when they saw her, thinking it was like a monster. But no, she's cool, I think. And yeah, I don't know. Then I mean, Mario.
Cloud and Smash Brothers.
Yeah, sure. Well, one of our false positives that we talked about was I guess Lanky Mario is the official.
Lanky
what was
Mario,
it?
yeah.
Oh, the thin
Tall,
Mario.
like the goofy Mario. Like again, not much depth there, but definitely a standout. What the hell am I looking at? New character design for 2015.
What do you think of Quiet? We talked about Quiet in the Game Awards.
Quiet's pretty good.
Yeah, just humming
Yeah,
her song
Quiet's a
every
good
5
character.
minutes.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Quiet might have been
dude.
stealthy enough to sneak
Yeah.
on in the countdown. We'll see on Friday. But someone that was not stealthy enough, but is pretty darn adorable. I have not played Xenoblade Chronicles X yet, but Ben Moore has.
Yeah, I have.
Our review will actually be posted tomorrow on GameTrailers.com and our YouTube channel, GT Reviews. Lin Li Ku from Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah.
Ben Moore, take it away. Lin Li Ku.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna sit here and get eaten by
This
the
is
spider.
Lynn right now.
This is
Uh,
like
not-
my
wait,
this
not
is like
here.
my nightmare come to life.
This is not
right
Lin. I believe this is the character that Ben is playing as.
This game is
And the
about
person
getting
that this
stuck on
character
webs.
is speaking to is Lin Li Ku,
now.
I believe. If we're going back, boom, there we go. That's Lin Li Ku right there.
Always
So
stuck in a web.
have you ever had that wonderful person that just seems to do good things unprovoked to you? That's kind of what Lindley is. Like everybody's super serious. Like, oh no, we're worried about this alien menace. We gotta make it on this new planet. And she's like, well, no, don't forget to eat. Let me make you some lunch. What do you want? And she's always super optimistic. There's a pretty cute scene early on where like the mech comes out. They're called Skells, and she is like, isn't this amazing? You want to like fangirl out with me? And I thought that was pretty adorable. So she's lighthearted, I think, in a game that sort of needs more characters like her. So yeah, I think she was easy to appreciate because of that. Yeah. You buy
Brad
that.
Ellis. I'm sorry?
You buy it.
I'll buy it, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And it was tough because some of these characters that we fell in love with are from games that we reviewed that other people in the GT staff didn't have time to play with, and so a lot of times we had to convince. I know I had one from a game that no one else had really spent that much time with, and so like I had to sell that to the crew. So you did one for the team there, Ben, by backing out and having Lin Li Ku at number 11. Sounds like an adorable character, but
Yeah,
but
not
potentially
quite
as
as
cool.
strong as the other people on the
And
list.
there were a lot of good characters this year. Brad, anyone that did not make the list that you're feeling?
Yeah, so originally me and Mike talked about this list a while ago, and we talked about it because of Nikolash from Bloodborne.
Okay.
The guy with the cage on his head.
Right.
Going, Majestic Hunter! And everything like that. We're like, this guy is one of the best characters of the year. And we
That's
totally
hilarious.
forgot about it in all the deliberations. And it wasn't until today that Mike goes, dude, Nikolash, we forgot!
So other than he's got a cage on his head and a Rasta accent. What else from Mikolash?
He's not a Rasta.
Yeah, he's not a Rasta.
Well, that just sounded like Rasta.
He
I don't
No,
know.
he's
shines
like-
giant snakes
yeah.
from his hands.
He goes like, grant us eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Grant us
There-
eyes.
There's a guy that cosplayed him in the game, and like pretended to be him and stalk people like when he invaded. Remember? Did you
That's
see
awesome.
that, Ian?
That sounds cool.
Like a guy would, you can actually loot his outfit, and he just dressed like him and behaved like him,
That's awesome.
and he would stalk people around the game like that. It's a YouTube video about it. It's pretty cool.
My favorite character of the year that did not make the list was Hendrix from Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I really like Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 1, I think, is actually my favorite campaign in all of the Call of Duties that have come out. And one of the reasons I really like Black Ops 1 is in all of the Call of Duty games, you typically have one or two characters that you follow that are like, if you're stealthing or going through areas, like they're just like, hey, follow me, and I'll be this little icon, and you'll always know like where to go. Kind of like a carrot to guide you through some of the levels to make sure you're going in the right direction. And once it got to like Black Ops 1, they started really goofing with that character and kind of playing with your expectations of like who they are, if they're on your side. Black Ops 1 is a really interesting twist about like your relationship to that character. And Black Ops 3 kind of does the same thing with this character Hendrix, who you basically go into battle with through most of the game. And there's a clear point where Hendrix kind of starts to go off in a crazy direction, and it's not something you might notice right away. And because of his character and the stuff that he does, decisions he makes, ways that he's influenced in the story, might propel somebody to go back and play the campaign again and actually notice like his little behavior quirks and why he makes those decisions, which you don't usually talk about in Call of Duty. Like especially like Ghosts had a horrible campaign, and as much as I loved Kevin Spacey in Advanced Warfare, like the end of Advanced Warfare is just like forehead slappingly stupid. Like what? Like just like characters make all sorts of weird decisions and stuff. But I thought that was very interesting. And just generally the campaign of Black Ops 3 is unusual for a Call of Duty game. So if you guys haven't checked that out and you like them shooters, then you should check that out. We are at the halfway point of GT Live, which is where we like to show a badass trailer.
Yeah.
I bet everybody at home, if you were just to like make a vote right now and just kind of throw like, I bet the badass trailer is this, you're probably right. I mean, we had PSX, we had the Game Awards, we had lots of great reveals. We had, Paragon finally got announced, Ni no Kuni 2, got announced, had a really great trailer. Game Awards, I think Psychonauts 2 was my favorite announcement from the Game Awards. But I just said Ni no Kuni. I can say it again.
Say it again.
Ni no Kuni 2.
There we go.
Which we have not done a trailer score for yet. Hopefully we'll have time the rest of this week. But I mean, come on. Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay trailers is the badass. And here's
Episodic.
afterwards. So go back in time. Pretend you haven't heard that episodic stuff. Diddly-doo, diddly-doo. And watch.
Webby brought a Shinra soldier along. No way he'd throw all that away for us. What's his name, anyway?
Cloud soldier. Look. We're paying you more than a few gil. You best be worth it.
You're doing this for the planet, same as us.
Not interested.
Wedge.
Get back here! Okay, let's move.
Remake.
Yeah. Remake. Are you down?
I
You feeling
am.
it? You pumped?
I am kind of down.
Part 1 of 7.
Yeah.
Next year. You ready?
Exactly. It's gonna be part 1 of 7, actually.
That's my call. I might call 7 parts. I'm done.
Because
it's like,
what's his
writes
name?
itself.
Nomura Love Numbers. Like
Right.
Duodecim, Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1.5.
It's gonna be one of those things. Yeah. I'm pumped. I'll play it. I hope the combat is deep. It's not like a hack and slash. It looks kind of like, you know, I saw the ATB bar popping in there and filling up, and I hope you can control more than one character.
Yeah, you can.
I don't know. You
I
can.
said that, yeah.
Okay, then.
I mean, it looks
I'm
you
down.
see Barrett fire.
Yeah.
Like you see, there's
Yeah.
definitely two
Big
different
shot.
moves.
But you know, remember 12, like, you know, you can kind of control the other guys. You can tell them, like, you know, you can program them, I guess. But, you know, I want to go back to, like, yeah, you control 3 or 4 characters, you know, like the classic Final Fantasies. So, I don't know. We'll see.
But see, a lot of people are upset that they didn't. I'm going to turn this into Final Fantasy VII discussion. You don't mind, do you, Brad?
No.
I mean, a lot of people have said it wasn't turn-based, but like that seems logical to me. You know, it's like, you know, I want this to be different. You know, I think the wrong idea going into it is to be like they better preserve absolutely everything that I love about it. It's like go back and play that old game.
No, it's
but
it's
if you
weird.
were them and you had to go back and you know redo the whole game over again, like wouldn't you want to try new things and you know, spice it up a little bit?
The way I hope it is gonna turn out, like it's maybe like when you choose fight, then you get like 10 seconds to just wreak havoc with your sword, and if you choose to do a spell, then the character will just stand still and you can kind of maneuver them, you know, for that turn while everyone's just standing still. And yeah, like I hope, you know, it's kind of like Valkyria Chronicles in a way. You know, I don't know if you play Valkyria, that
Yeah.
you could kind of like once the character's turn is up, like they can move and like do their stuff, but like sort of actiony, but you know it's still turn based. We'll see.
Are you down? Do you ever play in the old Final Fantasy games, Dan?
The old Final Fantasy games, but none of that. I didn't really get into the later.
SNES.
SNES, yeah.
You're too busy. You're too busy animating stuff.
I'm very busy animating and programming.
So let's get into your actual company. So you leave and you said you started doing some freelance stuff, then you had too many damn projects. So you're like, okay, it's time to make a company. Time to cut the reel. Time to make a website. Get the business. Do you have business cards?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I want a business card. I want to collect the.
I don't know if I brought some.
I want to collect one of those before
I'll email you one.
a mint 2015 Mode Select Marco Rosado.
You have so many business cards.
Rookie business card. So what are your jobs? Like what are your roles? What is a day, a week, a month like at Mode Select for both you guys?
It depends on the project, I think. Like mostly like Dan is like a very technical guy, and I'm more like a story, like, you know, just writing the scripts and going over the shots and making sure the things flow. I draw a lot of storyboards, and while, you know, depending on the project, we bring animators or texture artists or modelers to work on different projects, and then Dan kind of supervises that through this crazy pipeline he's developed in-house where he can see every shot, you know, through a GIF format, you know, in this 3-monitor setup he has now. So, yeah,
I'm hacking the Gibson. That's what I'm doing every day.
Yeah.
Hacking the Gibson?
I'm hacking the Gibson.
What? I'm not hip to the terminology. What's the
GIFs.
Gibson?
You never seen
hacking
Hackers?
the GIFs
Hackers?
in.
No, the Gibson.
Oh, the Gibson.
Have you ever seen Hackers, the movie?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What-
It's the computer that they hack into. You know.
Is that like Angelina Jolie's like new computer where she like shows up? She's like, check out my new computer.
No.
Oh, that one's
That's the
pretty
one
cool.
they use to hack into the Gibson.
Oh, okay.
They're hacking into the Gibson. Yeah, that's me.
That's
My 14.4K
such
modem.
a strong visual now of you like surfing through like the skyscrapers of code, you know, like trying to find the right thing.
Exactly. It's very
There's Marco
3D.
playing Minecraft. It's like, dodge it.
Kerbal.
Yeah, it's Kerbal.
Kerbal. He's building spacecraft.
Kerbal was at PSX. I was just there.
Oh, man.
They're showing it
Yeah,
off.
I
Isn't that,
can't
is,
wait.
is it out or does it come out next year?
I don't know. I don't think it has to be next year. Yeah, but I want to play with a controller and see how that feels.
If people are unfamiliar, that is a very, to me, looks kind of tedious spaceship building sim
Ridiculously tedious.
with little like alien minions basically. They look like minions that are really sick, you know, like
yeah, they look like mini
have a stomach
Frankensteins.
bug. Yeah,
Yeah.
that, somehow somebody threw into space.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, like working with animation and like going through like Maya files and all the different plugins that we use, like it's almost like XGens and, you know, the tree plugin, speed tree, like all that stuff. Like sometimes you kind of have to hack the program almost to make them work.
Yeah, there's like all this software web that you can kind of put out there. You have all these programs you rely on, but there's nothing really that ties them together. We've kind of had to build that from scratch, and that's been something that we didn't expect. Well, we were like, oh, we can do this animation project, sure, you know. And I've done animation in the past, and I understand the process very well. But you know, as a small studio, you want to figure out your own kind of workflow method. And we basically developed that, and I've been working with one of our guys. He's a coder, and he's developed just a proprietary software for us, and so that we can manage all of that stuff. It gets pretty hairy once you have thousands of files that all rely on each other and they're all linked together. They have to, if something gets corrupted, then it's like
when you see a video game
everything blows
trailer,
up.
when you see the next Arkham Batman trailer by Blur or like one of those companies, like a lot of work went into those things.
Yeah,
and
there's so many
Because I mean,
different.
honestly, from my perspective, trailers are like a dime a dozen. And it's like I don't, I see that. I'm fairly uninterested in what it takes to make a game trailer. I'll be perfectly honest. Just kind of over it at this point.
It's crazy. Like I'll tell you, like
that hasn't changed. Like the amount of work that goes into it. Like I think people's perceptions, like you see it all the time, where the market's saturated with CG everything, and
right.
But it's so easy to forget like how much work it goes into making that crappy trailer you just trashed, because it's like, who cares about that game? Pan the trailer, but somebody spent like 6 months of hard work.
It's almost like making another game,
pouring their hearts into that, making just that trailer.
But that's actually a really excellent question. Thank you, Dan. If how do you feel about working on something, or do you get emotionally attached to it? Like if it's just you're working with a client, somebody came up to you and was like, I will come up, because I knew you said you do storytelling and stuff like that. If somebody came in and said, I wrote it, I'm going to handle everything, I literally need you guys to just do the grunt work to actually create this thing, and you're like, this is dumb, I don't like this character, but hey, it's a paycheck. Like, would it be hard for you to detach yourself from that product, or could you be like, well, these things that we do, we have more of a stake in, so we're a little more excited about that, whereas these, we just kind of have to remove our emotions from it, because at the end of the day, it's not our product, we are just the animation studio that is producing the work.
But at the same time, our name gets put on it at the end. That's something we made.
Yeah.
So it represents us. No matter what we do, any project that we take on, we put 100% in, because at the end of the day, we want to be proud of what we're doing anyhow. So it doesn't really matter if it's a client. We're still being creative and doing what we love to do, and then the work should reflect that. And
I think every project, like even if they tell you, do a Smurfs trailer for the tie-in game for the Smurfs movie, you're like, okay. But after a few weeks of storyboarding it and scripting it and developing it, it's inevitable you're gonna fall in love with the project, even though you thought you wouldn't.
You kind of have to throw yourself into it, because if you don't, then it ends up being even that shows in the end. In the end result was like, well, they didn't care about that, so they just threw it in the trash. And if you're doing that, then I think the other thing is trying to find projects that fit what we do, we like video games, and we like things that involve. We know who we are, so we try to pick or find projects that fit what we want to do.
That's not bad for your one company to pick and choose what projects you're working on.
Well, it's not like that.
You're just
I didn't say we could pick
we
and
got
choose.
all these offers here.
But if you see an opportunity and it's headed your way, and you have a chance to kind of grab at that, or you could go for this other thing that, maybe we go for this because it's more in line with what we want to do, other than this thing that is maybe going to pay us more, but it's completely something we're not interested in. We can't see ourselves pouring, ourselves into.
The GT review graphics, Marco, were you emotionally attached to those?
We were emotionally attached to those.
Because I've seen them so many times now. I'm emotionally attached to them as well.
Yeah.
When nobody was looking, we closed the door. We had fist fights.
That's how Dan started working at game trailers back in the day. Because Stephanie Keene was developing the pinball with me, and then she left to work at Yahoo, where she is now, doing great, by the way. And I was like, okay, I need help finishing the pinball graphics that Stephanie came up with, and then Dan came over, and that's how it happened.
The rest is history.
Yeah, thanks to the pinball graphics.
I got a bunch of questions for you guys, but we are nearing the end of the show. We should probably throw it at chat. Do we get good questions?
Yeah.
Before we answer those questions, I just want to say thank you guys. This is the last official GT time of the year, or GT Live of the year, we're gonna have a special episode of GT Live next week. So I appreciate you, even though we didn't have codes today, that you still ask good questions, and I'm looking forward to hearing them.
This one I'm curious about too. How long did it take you guys to animate those wonderful Zelda animations for timeline and everything?
Way longer than necessary. Well, we were too busy playing Minecraft. But
no. But I think it was a mix of between trying to design that temple and like coming up with the idea. It's like, okay, like what if every game is a column in the temple? It's like, oh, that's a great idea. And then, well, how do we make that happen? And then from there, like going back and forth with Damiani, like he's like, no. Majora's Mask is defined by the mask.
I was really
not-
hoping we get Marco Damiani voice at least some point in the show tonight.
Yeah, I think part of it was like going back to the graphics and changing them based on what the story Damiani was trying to portray, and the other half was just like we were rendering that on Macs, which were definitely
very
not
slow.
designed to render that amount of stuff. So there were a lot of late nights, going image sequence by image sequence, comping them and all that stuff. It took about, I think it was 3 months.
I don't
from
know. Like,
concept to final.
yeah, but I mean, I think we were doing other things at the time, so I wouldn't say 3 months is with all the time in between.
Yeah, because we were not just doing that. Like in those 3 months, like Ryan would
Editing
come over,
reviews
like
or-
edit the Punch Out review, and I'm okay, put timeline aside, and then I started editing Punch Out, and I'm Damiani, hey, what's this game? It's not timeline.
Damiani having to figure out what was canon and what was not.
One of these days, though, Ian, I want to
straight.
get you and Marco like in a room, like in like computers facing each other on the other side of like a fake wall, and then throw you guys both the same review and be like, you got 2 hours, go.
Oh
Like,
God!
see who can put together the
I'm
better
gonna-
review.
Ian would definitely destroy me on that.
But you guys, I think you guys were the fastest edit slingers in the West. You guys were
Yeah.
incredible.
You never know.
Or still are. You never know what.
I mean, yeah.
Who's quicker?
Going home is a great motivator.
It is true.
Yeah.
We say with 14 minutes of the show left, what are the questions we got?
This one's from Ahab. Do you have any embarrassing or incriminating stories about the GT crew, past or present, or future if you're clairvoyant?
Always the issue of bringing old
Clairvoyancy.
GT staffers on the show.
I can't say the mayor.
Yeah.
There's some crazy stuff. I don't know, man.
I can't say.
Yeah, I mean, if I can say this, like, I think I worked at GT for 5 years, I think, or 4. And definitely we became a family. I mean, like, we still talk and we still, like, I'm in contact with everyone, almost everyone that worked there still. So there are a lot of, like, crazy stories. Like my birthday, like 4 years ago, like Ryan and Damiani were there and Miguel were there. And we got drunk in a rooftop in downtown LA, and then we bar hopped for like, until 2 a.m. It was, I don't know about embarrassing. I mean, I know embarrassing moments, but I don't want to put them out there. Yeah, I don't
Dodge the
know.
bullet. Yeah.
I'm trying to be politically correct here.
Is Ben sweating over there? No, Ben's comfortable. He's
Yeah, I was
confident.
hoping for Bosman scoops on that.
All my embarrassing stories are out in the open. Like everybody already knows. This
is true.
No, I think there's some.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, actually, no. Let me put Damiani in the spot. Remember when Damiani bought that cane from House, the TV show House?
Yeah.
And he used it for a whole week.
Yeah, and he didn't tell anybody like what was up.
What?
And you need to like
Kane?
you need to process all.
Yeah, he like, oh, let's go to lunch to In-N-Out. Okay. And then he pulls out the cane and starts like limping to In-N-Out. And I'm like, what's going on? And it's like, this is pro, man. This is, I got this on eBay from, I don't know what.
It was a replica,
I mean,
right?
I think that's a cool story. I don't know.
That's great, yeah.
Oh my god.
You gotta be careful with that though, because like didn't the lady from ER who like had the crutches, like she like for 5 seasons was pretending she had a limp, and then she like got it basically after
really?
a while, yeah, because she was like, leaning on this thing for so many hours a day.
Well, Damiani's a speedrunner, so
Right.
he can't use a cane.
No,
That's
this is
ironic.
true. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe we can do like pop fiction someday, but like, can you play games with the cane? Can you beat the original Legend of Zelda with just the cane?
Yeah. Okay, this one's from Silver Warlord. I know you guys kind of touched on this briefly, but what are some of your dream projects that you'd want to work on?
Dan, what do you think?
I always wanted to do a timeline for Metroid when we were
Oh,
at GT.
yeah.
You would want to do a timeline again? You'd want to do
Yes.
another one? Take it on?
I did.
He's a madman.
I know.
Madman, yeah.
No, it's
Have
different.
Damiani
though.
write it. And,
Yeah, I think it's different now because we have, back at the GT days, we didn't have a pipeline. We didn't have anything. Like, now we can kick that stuff out looking amazing, and, Timeline Metroid is definitely one of our dream projects if we ever get around to do that. I know. Call Damiani up and ask him. He actually wants to redo Zelda Timeline.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, hey, there's 2 new games.
If he, well, we're not redo it, but I mean, add on
yeah.
those games.
Yeah.
Do you have that project? Do you have Timeline somewhere in the
We're
bowels
actually
of
We
Mode
have a hard
Select server
drive sitting
somewhere?
on
Yeah.
his desk at the office. Yeah.
we want to re-render some of the shots. To put
Ben's
on
got
our
an opinion
website.
about that. Ben.
No, there's something I have to bring up before Marco leaves that I discovered by chance like a week ago.
Uh-oh.
So Marco, you have a YouTube channel.
I do. I have. I think a couple.
Yeah. Well, there's one that you haven't posted to in a long time, and it was it was outtakes from Brandon Jones.
Oh yeah, and Rich Brown.
Oh, that's a good
and
one.
Rich Brown. Yeah. So the video starts. This is what I have to deal with every time I edit a video. And if you guys have any interest in Brandon Jones and Rich Brown kind of goofing off, there's some shenanigans.
They just
at the end.
Game Trailers outtakes. You can probably just search into
yeah.
YouTube and you'll find
I
it.
think the account is Vespine. Or something.
Vespine, like Vespine gas and
it's
StarCraft.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's I remember that my favorite part is like your wife Amanda just showed up into the booth and started reading your script, and she has a great voice, by the way.
Yeah, well, yeah, she does. Yeah, she gets. She is actually a VO performer. Like
Yeah.
I do VO as a part of my job, but like she actually auditions for stuff and does voiceover. She's been in games and stuff like that. For the record, he brought up my wife. I didn't.
Yeah.
He brought it up. I'm commenting on what he
Always
said.
looking for a reason. Yep.
I bring up my
Okay.
wife too much on the show. I get
Okay. Oh,
my
that's
wife.
great.
My favorite was Rich Brown would read the when we
Resident
did
Evil
Game
5.
when we did Game of the Year awards. Rich would read all of the nominees, and the way we should have done it is basically add up all of the games that were going to be nominated, make one big long list of those, and then have him read those. But instead, he would get each script on its own. So he would, like, I think it was Resident Evil 5 is when he freaked out about. And like that year, it was like nominated for Game of the Year. It was nominated for action adventure. It was nominated for multi-platform game. It was there were like multiple categories it could have popped up in. It was like Game of the Year, and he's like, I've said Resident Evil too many damn times. I'm not reading it again.
And the winner is Resident Evil. Damn it!
Tatsunoko. That's a good video.
All
But
right.
enough about us.
We've had a long-running question that we ask all the guests on GT Live.
Okay.
This one's from Joetown.
Thank
What
you,
are your
Joetown.
thoughts on Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door?
Man. Okay. Well, why is this a long-running question?
Why isn't it?
I don't know.
You got something against Paper Mario?
You're not supposed to tell people.
Yeah, you-
that
you-
it's
yeah,
a
you-
long
you-
running
He
thing.
has.
You just ask it.
I don't. I
Brad's
mean,
honest that way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Brad doesn't want to deceive
Yeah, not
anybody.
Brad's a
Scumbag.
good boy. He's a good boy.
I'll be
That's
honest.
true and true.
Like, this is not Paper Mario. Like, I kind of checked out of Mario RPGs with Super Mario RPG, which is my favorite. But I played the first Paper Mario, but after that, I didn't play the rest. So I don't know what to say about that.
You never know with Dan. Dan, you might just jump out right now and be like, yes.
I
Yes.
100% at Paper Mario 1000 Year.
No Paper Mario for me, but I do want to try Yoshi's Woolly World.
You got a Wii U?
fun.
Huh?
You own a Wii U? and
I
have
have,
it
yeah, I
in
have a
house?
Wii U.
Wow.
I haven't tried that yet.
But okay,
play some
Ken,
We're
games,
like
Brandon.
0 for 15. Has there been a solitary guest that is like, yes, all over it?
Goaty.
Yeah, I don't think there's been.
I don't think there's
I
been
think-
one person.
I thought there was one.
There might be one.
I don't know who it was though.
Wow.
Casuals.
Paper
This show
Mario.
is spinning off the rails.
Why
I
is this
like
a long-run question?
episode.
I'm so curious now.
It's just a
People want to know.
It's just a game.
Yeah.
Somebody brought it. Somebody threw it out in chat once, and then I think Kyle Bossman wanted to troll our guests that
Yeah.
we've invited graciously to come here and be on the show.
Yeah.
And Kyle, likes to mistreat people, so
Okay.
he would he would try to put them on the spot.
Is that on Virtual Console now?
I don't know.
No? Or
No?
It's a Wii regular Wii game.
Well, maybe that's why it's so
No,
you
wait,
can't get it now.
it's a
You know what I mean?
GameCube game,
You
right?
had to be there in that era. So maybe one of these days we'll
Casuals.
capture someone.
Okay.
It's
We'll
a
go off on
GameCube
a
game.
10-minute conversation
It's
about
like saying,
Paper
what do you
Mario.
think about Blast Corps? Or like,
Yo, what do you think
What do you
about
think
Blast
about
Corps?
Corps?
oh, it's amazing. I
Yeah,
rented
Blast
like
Corps is great.
Okay.
that game 2 months straight.
All right.
when
Yeah,
it
that's
came
in the
N64.
rare collection, right?
It is.
It's
Yeah.
under. It is.
Yeah.
It should be. Yeah.
It is.
wow.
Yeah. It is.
Pretty great. Holds
So
up.
many achievements
Blast
to
Corps.
get. Okay.
You get to like suplex skyscrapers. You just like fly up above them. That's great.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
this one is from the hashtagonist. If you got a theme song, any theme song that would start playing at will, which song would you choose for yourself?
Something from Chrono Trigger?
A theme song for myself. I mean, Dan, you say something because I gotta think this one.
Yeah, Dan, you clearly have one.
Oh
What- what-
yeah. No,
you're-
I don't.
If you were a wrestler, if you were in the Major League of Baseball and you're going up to the plate, what are they playing? What about you, Brad?
Oh, theme song?
Yeah.
Easy answer.
Oh.
60s Batman theme.
Oh, nice.
Batman, just walking.
I thought it had to be video game related.
Can be anything.
Anything you want.
I would do Mr. Jones by the Talking Heads. That would be mine.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Jones.
The Boba Fett theme. It's very like people don't
Oh, the
remember.
Boba
this.
Fett theme.
It's a Boba Fett theme.
Crazy.
It's on Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
And it's in the soundtrack. It's named Boba Fett's theme or motive or whatever. And the Falcon flies away from the junk debris, and Boba follows him. And when they cut to his face, I love that.
So you'd be all stealth. You'd want people to fear you before you enter the room.
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marco Rosado.
With a Boba Fett helmet.
I saw a really great tangent. I saw a really great image somebody put up on Facebook that was Carmen Sandiego and Waldo. They were in like some restaurant somewhere, and like Boba Fett's in the door, and they're both like, like we found him. They were together the whole time.
Yeah.
Of all people, would track him down.
Yeah. All right. This one's from Tongue Surgery. How much of animating is done by hand? In other words, do you use any software to automate certain subtle aspects of animation?
We invested in like a motion capture system. We have not used it. All of our animation is done by hand. It's just, I don't know, it looks better. It just comes out more natural. You actually had, somebody putting thought behind the character's emotion. You can't tell a computer like, this make it sad.
Yeah, right.
Well, computer's like 0 to
I mean,
1,
will you be able to someday? I mean, it's like, I remember when Maya came out. I used to work at an animation company. I remember when Maya first came out, the animator said, like, we got about 365 days before everyone that hires us figures out how easy this has become. Because there were a lot of things in Maya where, like, you could, before, if you had an object interacting with other objects, you had to tell everything what to do. Whereas when Maya came out, you could just throw something at other things, and the properties held within them would react how you would want them to react. Like lighting something on fire, for instance, would just happen.
Yeah.
So, like, do you think are you scared of that happening someday? Where like, oh, I just push a button and boom, I got a character.
No, I think that's awesome. I mean, I would like to be involved in creating that technology. I think basically developing some aspects of that. I think that's the whole idea. Is computers make our lives a little bit easier, and we can focus on like telling stories and.
Like, speaking of animation, like even mocap animation, like if you see a Call of Duty trailer, cinematic, whatever, and there's a guy with a gun running, and whatever, that's clearly mocapped. But there's this process called cleanup, where they go over the mocap capture, and basically like attach another rig into it and start like smoothing out the jerkiness and all that stuff. And that happens for movies, for games, for all that, like like every time Andy Serkis performs Gollum or King Kong or Supreme Commander Snook, I think for Star Wars is
Snook? Is that his name?
Yeah, that's his name.
That's not a very scary name. I didn't know that.
Or something like that. So
oh dear.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, JJ, what are you doing?
They mocap him.
Oh,
Yeah, they mocap him, but that mocap kind of acts as a guide more than like some animator has to go in there and clean it up and make sure like when his eye closes, like the twitch is just perfect, all that stuff. So.
Ben Moore, do you think there was any motion capture for EDF 4.1? Do you think there should have been?
No. No.
Like that would spoil everything.
They mocap
every
ants.
janky aspect of this game adds to its charm. Like
I really like it when you get knocked around. I saw like the explosion or something sent you up in the air.
Yeah.
And you pleasantly bounced off many things in the environment.
Oh, I wish you would have addressed me like 5 minutes earlier, because there was just like 100 spiders on screen and just shooting a Gatling gun at all of them. It was great. Having a good time over here. That's what I'm trying to say.
Good. I mean, even after an hour. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
But this is on your profile. So is this? Do you think you're going to be spending more time with EDF over the holidays?
Maybe if The best way to play these games is co-op, so if I can convince my girlfriend to shoot spiders with me for an hour, I might. But there's just, like, I haven't finished The Witcher 3 yet, you know? So,
Right.
like, if I was sitting back playing EDF that I've already played through, I'd feel kind of guilty. I think.
That's the end of the show. Is there any question on there that's burning? You're like, whoa, we got to
This
get to
one
this
might be
one.
interesting to you.
Okay.
Okay.
To me. Ooh,
this one's from Casper. What is your favorite trailer ever?
Favorite trailer ever?
Ever.
Well, you like those trailers, right, Marco? You got any faves that jump to mind? Thank you for that one, Brad. I appreciate it. If you want to ask me that every week, I'll take it.
You say yours first. Let me think.
Well, mine's pretty easy because I produced, I believe in 2011, I think it was 4 years ago, we did the top 100 trailers of all time. And I fought very hard for Bioshock, the original reveal of Bioshock to be the #1 trailer on there. Just because I used to have a show that I don't have any time to produce anymore called Trailer Academy, where I would go in and look at trailers and figure out, like, this trailer's really good because of this aspect. And if you were to make, like, just a quick hit list of all of the great things you can do with a trailer to make to sell a game, especially like a game that no one's ever heard of before, the like very first time we're ever looking at anything for this game, I think that checks off most of them. So I'm a huge fan of that one.
I'm gonna go back like a long time ago. The 2000 or 2001 was it? The MGS2 trailer.
Yeah.
Like that shit was ridiculous.
The what, MBS? What's that?
MGS. Sorry.
Yeah, that first.
Like, I remember just watching that on like a 320 by 2 something IGN, little video cap, and it was like, so I think that's the craziest reaction I've had to a game trailer ever. So
it's a good Kojima tribute,
Yes.
Kojima's had a rough couple weeks, man. So it's good that you
rough year.
It's good that you do a shout out. He's had 2015 is not a year that will go down as one of Kojima's favorites.
Yeah.
But it was a darn good trailer. It was a badass trailer.
Yeah.
Suggestion.
And it just like I went recently back through the history of that trailer and like how he replaced Raiden with Snake in some shots.
Yep.
And for people not to know that
Yep.
Raiden existed, like it takes some work to go through like, micromanaging your media to hide some secrets, and that's awesome. There's a lot of meta and secret lore into that trailer.
Anything jump to mind, Dan?
The Blizzard trailers, anything from.
Oh, just anything, yeah.
So
Anything they do.
They do awesome work.
That would be a dream, right? To work with Blizzard, right, Marcus?
Yeah, no,
Marco?
I mean they're awesome. The Legion trailer.
Yeah, it was good.
That's like, that's like so much fan service.
It was better
but
than
it's
the
awesome.
Warcraft movie trailer.
I think so.
They both came out like the same day.
I
Yeah.
said the same thing
Yeah.
when I watched it.
I was like, oh, now this movie I'd watch.
I think it goes. It's because it's human characters. Even human characters are not live acted or cartoons, and you see Varian, whatever his last name is,
Rin.
Rin, like as a cartoon, and you see Sylvanas like shooting her bow. It looks like that's like the airship crashing, and he's dying, and he's like comes back up like that's his fan service.
Guards running around like
like I love that
cool.
Blizzard. Like I think Blizzard before they would try to like make trailers sentimental and like but now they're just saying screw it, like we're just gonna do fan service, and now it's just crazy battles and Kerrigan mowing down Terran people and crazy stuff like that. That's just do kick-ass trailer. Forget about the emotional part.
You see the new Street Fighter trailer?
The character reveal from PSX or
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's completely new character designs. I don't know. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Street Fighter does a good job. Smash Brothers obviously does a great job whenever they ask new characters. I'll talk about trailers all day, Brad.
Yeah.
I mean, twist my arm,
trailers.
dude. Well, we got to wrap the show up. Really quick, I'm going to talk about stuff that you can check out on GameTrailers.com this week. PSX happened this weekend. Mr. Ian Hinck and Mr. Brad Ellis and a very sick Mike Huber went up to San Francisco to check out PSX. We got a Huber hype out of that. We got a mandatory update out of that, which you have not seen yet, which Ian's going to be working on this week. We did a Just Plate. I'm sorry, Ian?
Already done.
Already done?
Whoa.
Already done is not posted yet, though, right?
No.
But so you might make changes to it later. You might wake up in a cold sweat this morning and be like, wait, I got to change it.
Can I tell like a PG-13 story?
Sure.
I had a dream last night that my ex-girlfriend, I was like looking at the video of mandatory update, and there was somehow a shot of her privates in the mandatory update that I had
like Fight Club
missed.
style.
She actually said, "Look at my," and then it was like there, and then I was like, but like I had missed it, and it got into the final edit and was out, and then I was in like a panic trying to like get it off the internet.
Oh my gosh.
But then
I
you
woke
saw
up
it
and I
got
was
200,000 views, and you were like, well,
And then I was like, maybe we're onto something with this
Maybe,
nudity
yeah.
thing.
Okay,
Big
we're
changes
gonna-
coming to mandatory update.
yeah, Ian,
Nudity.
we're gonna have a meeting after
Yeah, like,
after this show.
Where do your dreams
And,
come from?
Have you guys rendered any genitals yet at Mode Select? Have you worked in that at all?
Yes.
We're really
Yeah?
working on that subsurface scattering effect.
Okay.
No, we've rendered cow udders.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah.
That's
Boom!
like
Are those
four
genitals though? Those aren't genitals.
Cow genital. I mean,
No, they're mammaries. That's different.
is it? Okay,
Yeah,
private
expert
parts.
over
Cow
there.
Yeah,
private
exactly.
parts.
Thank you, Ian, for clarifying that.
How
I'm just
extra.
saying. It's like boobs, not genital.
Dark Souls 3 and Umbrella Corps were the two games we specifically talked about because we had Ian play for the first time at PSX. So if you want to get his opinion on that, spoiler alert, he liked it. And was curious to get both your opinion and Mike Huber's opinion about Umbrella Corps, which we played, which is no Blast Corps, but it's still was still we still had fun. We did a competition. Huber and I joined and did joined a tournament. It was best 3 out of 5, and we lost all 3 rounds. We
Very
did some
quickly.
trailer scores of. I'm sorry.
Very quickly.
Very quickly, yes.
Yeah.
The round 1, round 2, round 3, out. We did trailer scores for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which you guys just watched for the Paragon announcement. If we have time later this week, we're going to do one also for Ni no Kuni 2 for that announcement. Ben's Xenoblade Chronicles X review I will be reading first thing tomorrow morning. I am finishing up the Game of Thrones series to do a review of that. Bloodworth is finishing up Tales from the Borderlands to do a review of that whole series, that whole thing. And Final Bossman also shot a little bit from shot a episode about PSX, about the keynote, which is up on our YouTube channel and hopefully up on the site. We're going to be shooting GT time tomorrow on this stage. So you can check out that as well. The Final Bets results video following the Game Awards at PSX went up. And as we talked about, our GT countdown for the week is the top 10 new characters of 2015. So you can check that out on Friday. Okay, one other spoiler that I really enjoyed: more women than men on that list. Which,
Really?
How about that? In 2015, totally didn't notice it until we got really narrowed down our favorites. And we were like, look at that,
Strong female characters.
more women than men. Yeah. Which Ian's a fan of. So that's what you can check out on GameTrailers.com this week. Just a little golf clap for Ian Hinck retiring his 2015 season of GT Live. We done made a show there, Ian. Good job.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Are you looking forward to next year?
Yeah.
We get to start fresh. That first
Yeah.
Wednesday of January is an
Oh, it's
opportunity to
gonna
just
be-
kick things off on the right note.
It's gonna be crazy.
Or maybe it's the second Wednesday. We haven't confirmed yet.
Dude,
What?
watching
Yeah.
Ian on that, from that GoPro angle, it
Right.
looks like Dead Mouse at the Game Awards.
Right?
Just like the console is like,
If we could get spinning lights behind you, that would
Yeah,
be great. I
that'd
mean,
be
the
cool.
mixer is colorful, but
I just like doing this where they move on their own. I love it.
if we could get a smoke machine in there, maybe that would be cool.
Yeah.
And I invite you guys. We are not going to do a traditional GT Live episode. We're going to see how this goes. I haven't actually planned out the whole thing, but next week I would like to do a trailer award show.
Whoa.
I would like the trailer awards. You saw what Keeley can produce on this stage. We're gonna go through all the best trailers of the year. We're not going to reveal our best trailer of the year. We're going to reveal our nominees for best trailer. We're going to talk about what was the best live action trailer. What was the best? We talked about the the Legion trailer. What were the best animated trailers of the year? The best gameplay trailers. Break them down by categories. Sit and crack open, heat up some popcorn, and watch the best trailers of the year with us. So that's what you can check out next week. Ben Moore. Playing through EDF.
Yeah.
Did you like your progress during the show? How'd you do? Did you get where you wanted to get?
Yeah, I think this
I
reaffirms.
just heard screams and squeals.
Otaku screams.
Yeah. I'm probably the best EDF player in the world, I think. And this reaffirmed that, I think, just this brief hour.
What I mean, you guys are. I'm really proud of you guys, and you guys are doing a great job with your company. But I mean, this is talent right here. I mean,
This
clearly.
is, yeah.
So yeah.
This anywhere else.
Apologies, we didn't get to focus on you as much as we really wanted to.
It's okay.
But
we-
thank you for playing EDF.
We
I
zoomed in
focused on
his
him a
face
lot.
for,
Right, we're
like, half
back.
the episode.
Really close.
You need just a half hour of Ben close up in person.
Possibly. I think we're gonna have to go back to this game either next week or when we get back from Christmas break. Thank you,
fun
Brad, for
clubs,
getting
for
in the
sure.
comments. Thank
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
so much. Sorry we didn't have any codes to give out today. The industry is slowing down. Everybody's got their games out. They've already accepted their awards. They had the Canadian Video Game Awards. They're done. It happened. It's over. And thank you, of course, Mode Select, Mr. Marco Rosado, Mr. Dan Rackison. Congratulations on your new company. Looking forward to new stuff. Again, you can check out modeselect.net and see their reel and hire these guys if you want them to do stuff. How are your rates, Marco? Are you
Depends on the
affordable?
project. Yes, we are
Do
affordable.
you have payment plans? Do you have a zero interest monthly payment plan?
Depends on the project.
I'm thinking about maybe hiring these guys for something next year, so we'll see. I'll let them know.
Let's do a
I'll be sure to
Kickstarter.
tweet out. I'll be like,
No,
whoa,
no.
pricey, must be nice over at Mode Select.
Let's kickstart a Metroid timeline.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
All right.
or Indiegogo, whatever it is. I'd love to do that.
You don't know the hell you have wrought in the comments and on our
Yeah.
Twitter feed now. That's all.
Okay.
You know, the comments on YouTube now. It's just nonstop Metroid timeline. They
Like
want it.
on our free time back at the GT days, we partially modeled the lab from Super Metroid as one of the environments.
I don't know if I ever saw that.
Yeah, you definitely
Oh,
see that.
no.
But it's like partially modeled, like the vat with the broken glass and the fences on top and the console dead scientist.
We were ready
You
just
know.
to go for it.
Yeah, it sounds like we're halfway there.
Yeah, so.
Somebody's got to write it. That's the easy part, you know. Just the rendering. That really holds the whole piece together.
Now we have a
when you were
rendering
doing
for
4
Warcraft,
months.
you'd have like shots of maps, and it was like, okay, the maps are cool, Marco, but we need to get back to like the story, you know, like the actual like lore, you know, like we can only hold so long on the picture frame. Like,
that's okay.
But good stuff, man. Yeah, I like what you guys do. I wish you good luck in the future, and thank you for coming on the show, guys.
man.
Have a wonderful holiday. Thank you guys for watching a full year, most of a full year. Hopefully we'll be around for another full year in 2016. We will see you next week for the first, hopefully annual 2015 Game Trailers Trailer Awards. Have a wonderful week. Take care, guys.
Happy New Year.